What's up, scrappers? I'm just curious, does anyone else collect these? This one came off of a fridge, but I find these on pretty much anything with water lines, refrigerators, washers, dishwashers, all that kind of stuff. Those water dispensers, and they're easy enough to take off. Some are like this, and some you can just pry out. And I like to collect them up because I love this shiny, thin copper that comes out of them. I just processed 2 of them, and I thought I might as well record it. I had 20 of them. I got 18 left, and I'm kind of wanting to do something like what Scrap It All 200 does, and just process them real quick on camera, and then weigh out what we got. And of course, we're just only going to get some small pieces of brass and the copper wire. You can see they're all different shapes and sizes, so they're all gonna have different copper content, but they're real easy to do. They're kind of fun to do. I like doing them, so let me just show y'all how I do it. And these are real easy to process. I'll just take my Harbor Freight snips and I get a hold of these brass connectors. And you can kind of pull them out that way, but some of them come out that way, some of them don't. Some of them, they come out with plastic and solder and stuff on them. You got to take off to get the clean brass. What I do is I just get even with that connector and twist. And it leaves a little inside there, but you get your little clean piece of brass and pile that up. So that's nice and simple. I'll go ahead and pop all the brass off of these. See, that piece went ahead and came all the way out with the plastic and everything on it. This one has still the plug connection on it, so that's a little bit extra. That's a good one. Still got both the connectors on it. Now, on to the next step. And what I used to do when I first started finding these and collecting them up is I just sit them on the concrete and hit them with a hammer, because you get some that are brittle, and you hit it in all this, like this one's already cracked. You hit it in all this cracks and you can just get the copper out. And I thought that was a good way till I got a big pile of them, and some of them are like thick, like hard rubber. They just smash and smash and they don't crack or open up, and then the copper's all smashed to bits in there and you cannot even really pull it all out any kind of way. So I got a new process for how I do these, and what I do is I just sit it down in the vise with a little piece of it sticking up above the edge of my vise, and I take my trash can knife that I picked up somewhere along the way, 8-inch steel chef knife that has been through it. I don't know if y'all can see the edge of that blade, but it's been through it. And I use that and my trusty dusty back of my hatchet here. And all I do is sit this knife down, enough under the edge that I won't catch none of that top plastic in there. And try to keep it kind of level and just pop it through there. And then you got this shards that come up out of there, but then you can get a hold and just start pulling it out, and here it goes. And it pretty much all comes out real easy for the most part. At the end you'll get down to like a single strand like that. I don't know if y'all can see that one strand, and that can pull out for a little while, or If there's some little plastic edges, it'll hang up and break off. But by the time you already got a handful like this, you know, I feel good enough about it. And that one brought out just about every piece of copper in there. So there it is. That's what I got out of one. A nice little ball of copper. And some of these, like this one, they've still got that piece of steel in there. This one doesn't, so I just trashed this. But these ones that got the little steel insert, after I'm done, I just throw them over here in my scrap metal barrel. So let me go ahead and process these out, and we'll get all this copper into a nice ball, and we'll weigh it out and see what we got. Like I said, that one's still got the little piece of steel in it, so scrap metal it is. Oh, that's the kind I like right there, just nice and shiny. And that's real good to mix in with something that maybe you had burned, or, you know, wasn't really shiny copper. You can just strand that out and mix it in with burnt wire that, you know, it'll make it look 10 times better than just throwing it in your barrel with the burned wire by itself. And some of them it'll leave behind, you know, just a little bit of wire in there, and that's what's glued to the sides. And some of them you can get it all out, and some of them there's a little bit left like that. And I don't sweat it, you know. It ain't a hard process. It ain't gonna make you or break you to get that little bitty out of there either. So I just let that go. We're getting there, y'all. That's looking pretty good. And that's it. 20 of them. 18 on camera and 2 before I started recording. And there's what we got. A little copper casserole. Let's go ball it up. We'll pick up that brass and go over to the scale and see what we got. Go with ounces. So here's our clean yellow brass. Almost an ounce. 0.96. Let's call it 1 ounce. Can we do that? 16 ounces in a pound. A pound of clean brass where I'm at right now is $1.80 a pound. So 1 ounce would be I think about 11 cents. Let's call it 11 cents. So 11 cents of brass. I said clean, but I'm gonna have to take out that little piece of plastic there and there. I didn't see that while I was pulling them off, but those are gonna have to go. So less than an ounce. Let's call it 10 cents. 10 cents of brass out of 20. If there's 10 cents of brass in 20 of them, I guess there's a half a cent worth of brass on each one of those little things. And for the big ball of copper, $14.8. So 14.8 ounces with 16 ounces in a pound, and a pound of number 2 copper going for $2.60. 14.8, that gives us almost $2.60. That's going to be $2.40. So $2.40 worth of copper out of 20 of those. So not too bad. And you know, my thing is, yeah, it's worth the weight value, but like I mentioned, this is all nice and shiny stuff. I usually don't take the time to ball it all up like this. Usually what I do is bust a couple apart and I strand it out and mix it in with some burnt wire that I have just to give it a little extra shine. And what that does for me is anything that's kind of discolored, this just shines it up and makes it look a little bit better. So, you know, they don't ask a lot of questions. You know, burning it is not, I guess, prohibited, but looked down upon by a lot of people. One of the things for me is the only way to get the value out of some of that stuff without wasting a lot of time is drape it over the burn barrel, let the plastic burn off, and collect what's inside. That's one way to do it, and that's one way that I do it. And I like to mix this stuff in there with it. So my question for y'all is, what do y'all think about the process and how I did it? Is there anyone else that collects stuff like that and likes to do those? You know, they are enjoyable to see all that good copper coming out of there. I really like it. And money wise, I mean, I guess we got $2.50 out of 20 of those. So, you know, they're obviously not worth a ton, and it does take a little time. That's not including the time to remove them from the appliance that it was on. But let me know in the comments if you guys are into doing those, if y'all like to collect those, save them up and do them, or if they're not worth y'all's time. I'd really like to hear y'all's input. And if y'all made it this far, thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys, and I'll have more videos to come. Please like and share if you're into this kind of stuff, and subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks. I hope y'all have a great day.